The opening hole at Bellerive Country Club for the 100th PGA Championship is a straightaway medium-length par 4. Like most Robert Trent and Rees Jones courses, the course is laid out right in front of you. But it won't be easy. This crowned fairway is one of the most elusive to find off the tee, so longer hitters may opt for less than driver to avoid bunkers that squeeze the landing area around 300 yards out. The tee shot is nearly as unsettling as the old graveyard that lies underneath the first fairway. And while the headstones have been moved, the grave sites remain entombed underneath the fairway. Most players will hit mid to short iron into the wide green on their approach shots. But anyone playing from the rough will have an especially tough time reaching left side hole locations. The second hole underwent dramatic changes during the renovations of 2006. A creek that previously existed was transformed into a lake, shortening the hole by 40 yards, enabling players to see the green from the tee box. This can be a confusing tee shot, where players have plenty of options for distance, direction, and how aggressively they want to hug the water line. An errant tee shot will force players to play safe from a lie in the rough. But if they can find the fairway, this hole becomes a green light birdie opportunity, where players can be aggressive into any hole location. The par 3 third hole at Bellerive should produce plenty of highlights. A tee shot over water is rarely comfortable, but the shortest hole on the course should offer plenty of birdie opportunities. Judging the depth is crucial, however. The left side of the green has a feeder ridge that will funnel balls down towards those pin placements and very possibly into the hole for an ace. This is an enticing little hole with great spectator viewing, as fans can see the action coming in from the second hole as well. A few holes at Bellerive have been adjusted from regular member play for the 100th PGA Championship. The fourth hole is typically a par 5 for the Bellerive membership, but it will play as a long par 4 for the championship, a demanding 521 yards. Tee shots will need to be shaped right to left and avoid bunkers and treacherous rough. Players missing the fairway will have a slim chance at hitting it close on the approach shot and may even consider a layup. When the pin is in the front of this green, the field should look to take advantage and try to steal a birdie on this tough hole, because the next two holes will present even greater challenges. The fifth hole is the classic definition of a Robert Trent Jones par 4. Everything is right in front of you on this hole and epitomizes his hard par, easy bogey philosophy. This fairway is tilted to kick balls right, towards the thick rough. The best birdie chances will come when the hole is cut on the left side of the green, which is more inviting and forgiving. Large bunkers guard this large putting surface, supporting Bellerive's claim of producing some of the longest bunker shots in championship golf. Once again, most players will be content with a par on this demanding par 4. The signature hole at Bellerive arrives 6 holes in. At 213 yards, the second par 3 on the course should play much tougher than the first. During the 1965 U.S. Open here, when Gary Player completed the career Grand Slam, this hole played a full stroke over par. The downhill tee shot is visually intimidating, with water and sand surrounding. Plus, this green has continued to shrink over the years during renovations. Pins in the front are now just as difficult as those on the back right shelf. However, tee shots will feed towards the cup when the hole is cut in the middle swale. This will be an exciting hole to keep an eye on, and unfortunately, plan on seeing more than a few big numbers made here. Following a difficult stretch of holes, Bellerive loosens its bite on the 7th hole. After the tough 5th and 6th holes, players arrive at one of Bellerive's short par 4s and should see plenty of birdie chances. An accurate tee shot will put a wedge in the hands of most players. However, anyone who misses the fairway should be extra cautious of pins tucked on the front left of the green, where a creek lurks behind and left. Double bogey can come into play with a misstep, but most players should look to score well on this hole. Bellerive presents only 2 par 5s to the field of the 100th PGA Championship. The 8th hole is a double dogleg that may be reachable in 2 for some players, but not most. A fairway bunker that previously guarded the left side of the fairway has been removed, encouraging more aggressive lines off the tee. The creek that hugs the right side is very visible and will give players something to think about if laying up. The green presents a wide but shallow target. Holes cut on the right side are green light scoring opportunities. Left side pins are more menacing, but perhaps not as ominous as the old cemetery perched just over the green. The 9th hole is yet another short par 4, playing only 433 yards. However, closing out the front 9 with a birdie will be no easy task. The fairway bottlenecks the further tee shots carry, and players who find the thick rough or bunkers will face a tough uphill approach. Judging distance on the second shots will be tricky, even from the fairway. And this hole will give up few good birdie chances unless the hole is cut in the easiest front bowl of the green. This very large putting surface is one of the most sloped on the course, where we should see plenty of interesting lag putts and up and down attempts during the championship. The 10th hole is a big dogleg left par 4 that normally plays as a par 5 for the Bellerive membership. Finding the fairway is essential on this hole because the rough and bunker on the left are unforgiving. Most players will be hitting short to mid irons into this wide but very shallow green that's protected by deep bunkers front and over the back. All pin locations can be tricky on this hole depending on your approach angle and distance. Birdie will be a bonus on this tough par 4. Major championships are always enhanced by short risk-reward par 4s, and the 11th hole is a great one. Players could lay up off the tee to a comfortable yardage, but this hole has been renovated so at 355 yards, it will be a source of plenty of fireworks throughout the week. There is, of course, some trouble to navigate before eagle attempts can be lined up. Beware of the pond that guards the front right of the green and the mounds that buffer the back left side of the collection area. Avoid them all, and the 11th hole is a great chance to pick up at least 1 shot, maybe even 2. The 12th hole is a solid dogleg left par 4 with an inviting tee shot. The landing zone is fairly wide and attractive, and as long as players avoid the bunkers on the left, they'll see plenty of good scoring opportunities. Back left pin locations on this green are the toughest to access, but things get easier as hole placements move further to the right. Back at the 1992 championship, Nick Price holed a 105-foot birdie putt on this hole en route to winning his first career major title. The 13th hole is a scenic but dangerous medium-length par 3. Simply put, the pin location will dictate how tough this hole will play from round to round. If the flag is placed on the accessible left side of the green, birdies will be popular. The same can be said about pins on the right side, as the slope will funnel balls in the desired direction. But if the hole is cut back middle, on the small plateau, routine 2-putts cease to exist. Be sure to check the wind and pin locations before firing away at this, the 3rd par 3 of the round. A tough 3-hole stretch begins on the 4th with a short par 4. Holes 14 through 16 are known as the Ridge because they are perched on Bellerive's higher ground, and this hole is the best chance for a birdie. Driver is not required, but players must be wary not to miss too far left, or they'll be blocked from hitting into left side pins. Players will enjoy hitting approach shots into this infinity green that offers views of Bellerive's lower holes. The 14th is a scenic spot to roll in a birdie and build momentum before facing the more difficult home stretch of holes. The second hole in the stretch, known as the Ridge, is a tough 495-yard par 4. Most players will grab their driver and try to bite off as much as they can, but should remember, fairway first, length second. Hitting second shots from in the fairway, as on any of Bellerive's long par 4s, is crucial to leaving makeable birdie chances. The 15th, as with every hole on the Ridge, typically plays into the wind and demands an accurate approach shot into a wide but shallow putting surface. The deep front bunkers and steep right to left slope will challenge any players scrambling to save their par. The final test on Bellerive's 3-hole stretch, known as the Ridge, is a par 3 and 237 yards long. The tee shot on this hole is all carry with a mid to long iron, where players must avoid deep and difficult front bunkers to land atop the crowned green. Based on the pin placement, this large green can be accessible, but any big misses will cost a player one shot or more late in their round. Par is a fine score on this, the longest par 3 at Bellerive. The penultimate hole at Bellerive is a wonderful par 5 with 2 tee boxes the PGA can choose from. From the back tee, this hole plays close to 600 yards, and most players will lay up to within wedge range. But if it's played from the 530-yard tee box, this par 5 becomes even more compelling, where everyone should be thinking about an eagle. Avoiding the creek that collects any ball missing right is a must before looking to attack a green sharply divided into 3 sections. Players can also choose to run the ball up onto the 17th green, where back right pins will be the toughest and front pins will be the most accessible. This par 5 could be the make or break hole that decides the fate of the 2018 PGA Championship. The 18th at Bellerive will be a classic finishing hole for the 100th PGA Championship. This hole will surrender few birdies as players try to close out their round. It's possible for the longer hitters to carry the bunkers on the left, but the popular play off the tee will be to lay up short of the bunkers on the right. Again, finding the fairway is crucial off the tee, or this green becomes one of the hardest to hit on the entire course. There are no particularly easy places on this green from which to score, but putting gets tougher as the hole is tucked further back and right. A birdie on this hole is certainly possible, but any player needing one will have to display world-class shot making on this, the final hole of Major Championship Golf for 2018.